Hello everyone, welcome in today's trading session. Today is 25th of March 2024 and let me start off with economic calendar. What we can see, we can expect at I think this is at 10 new home sales, high impact news. So that's something to be, no, this is actually at 9. No, 10, I was right, sorry. Let me just quickly mark it just so I have it here. I'm quite confused with the times just because we are in a different, let's say, time zone, and there is also time shift in Sunday. So then I will go back to the regular times and it's going to be much easier. So we have just one news event. There is nothing else that we can expect. And let me start off with ES, what we can see, what we can find, and anything interesting going forward to this week. So we have Monday. This sell side liquidity I will not need for sure. I will delete these things. So previous week we were strongly bullish that we can see. We have made new all-time high on ES, and now we have opened and we are slightly trading to the downside. So I'm not sure if this will be a bearish day or a bearish week, but let's see what we can find so far. So we had a volume imbalance on the daily chart, which we traded to on Friday, but also this big buy side imbalance, which we already traded today. So I'm not sure if we can expect the market having a reaction from this BC and go higher, or if we will be trading still within this range and maybe go lower. I'm not sure if I can expect from Monday to have really like a long range, like a training day, that it will maybe drop down here somewhere. I'm not sure if I can expect that, but let's be prepared for anything. So this is the closest sell side that I can find. On the 1 hour, there is a big buy side imbalance over here. I think we will draw here with no problem. It's a big fair value gap. I'm not sure if on the 15-minute there is something better or easier to see. I think I will maybe highlight this one instead, the 15-minute, because the 1 hour is too big to my liking. So here's a 15-minute fair value gap. I think the top one is a 1 hour, but we have already traded inside it. So let's see how significant this will be. On the 15-minute chart, what I can spot is this fair value gap, which is really close to where we are right now. Then we see we slowly started trading to the downside. There is quite nice buy side liquidity here that I like. These are relative equal highs, and there is a 15-minute fair value gap right here, which can act as a reasonable target for the market coming back here. I think I will delete this 1 hour fair value gap, as it was already traded too. Also, we went down again. I think okay, so we have taken just this low from Wednesday PM session. But there's also this 15-minute fair value gap where we traded, and maybe we will see the market going lower again. But we will need to wait for the market to open and give us an idea what we can expect, what kind of direction the market will want to go. If it will have a bearish or a bullish day, I will need to still see what is more reasonable for today. For ES, I think these are the most obvious things that I can spot. The 15-minute fair value gap here, the BC, and the 15-minute fair value gap CB in the mid of this range. There will be also around the 50% the equilibrium of the price range of this last price leg, so that could be a reasonable target. So that's what I can spot on ES. So let me start now with NQ. I have a lot of previous annotations, so I will need to start deleting those. We have taken already the sell side from Friday, which I was favoring, and as we can see, I was pretty much offside. But I think I managed the trade, even though I put opposite directional trade. I think I managed the trade really good, that I exited at the 5-minute fair value gap. I didn't require the market coming back down here, and I closed the entire position. I think that was really good from me. So I'm really happy with that, seeing that the market went completely the opposite direction and went for the buy side and coming back to the 50-minute fair value gap. So still quite showing us that the direction of the market is going to the downside instead. So maybe we will start see the market showing us some bearish movements. So instead of taking the sell side liquidity, the market swept the buy side liquidity here, went into the 50-minute fair value gap CB, and then reached lower for the sell side liquidity from Friday 8:30. So let me delete these annotations. I don't need this. Yeah, the sell side liquidity was already taken. The 50-minute fair value gap can still be a nice thing to have here noted. So let me start with the higher time frame. So again, we are still trading inside this range. And I'm not really confident in thinking what kind of week we can expect. But similar to ES, we have a volume imbalance, which we traded on Friday. And now today we have traded inside this BC entirely. I'm not sure how should I have it marked, if I want to have it marked entirely like this. Because I think I will see this shaded area maybe multiple days, and I just don't want that. So maybe I'll just highlight the top of that fair value gap with blue. Daily fair value gap BC high. And then the bottom. Oh, actually I haven't. Okay, never mind. I was thinking, why do I have a different font? I'm thinking if I want to also highlight the midpoint, I think that should be also an interesting point. So let me mark that too. I will still need to consider if I want to see it here or not, because a lot of the times I have a lot of markings on the chart and I don't like it that much to have so many things, because it might shift my focus away. But yeah, that's what I can see on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we can see this was quite a range, really. We didn't move anywhere that much, not really a displacement, but on this week, we can see this was pretty much a one-sided move. So we have swept the sell side inside this BC, and then we have moved straight to the upside. So I'm not sure if we can expect this week to also be like a continuation of this move, that we are just repricing into this fair value gap and we will see the market going higher even more. That's very much possible. So I'm not sure what I can expect yet. It's going to be really hard because I was favoring this target to be met, and we have already done it prior New York session. So I'm not sure what I can favor next. On the 4-hour, we have taken the sell side, as I mentioned. We have also traded inside this breaker. We are seeing from this point a lower price action than this low. Now we went higher. Not sure if we can expect also here some retracement already. I had noted this 1-hour fair value gap, which we already traded inside, and we didn't violate the midpoint in terms of the body of the candle. So we closed actually on the top of that fair value gap. Not sure if this really tells us that we are going to see higher prices, or if we are going to trade inside this BC here. So far, I also want to note. Okay, I can see that we also traded inside the midpoint of this price leg. So we are now trading inside the equilibrium. This is very much potential place where the market can continue going higher. So I will need to be really cautious what I will do today. It's going to be a difficult day in my opinion. So different from ES, I can see on the 1 hour there is a nice fair value gap here. I'm not sure if I will maybe change it to a 50-minute. I'm not sure. I like this high from today's London session. Let me go to the 50-minute that I can see. We are trading inside this CB. And also on the 50-minute, also the bodies on the candles are not violating the midpoint, which I really like. On the 50-minute, there is nothing else that really stands out to me. There is also one fair value gap here, but really this is a one directional move. I think this is after FOMC. Yes, this was FOMC, so the market really rallied due to the news events. And on the 5-minute, we also here a CB, which we have touched and went lower from, but on the higher time frame, we are trading inside the equilibrium of this price range, so we really need to wait for the market to show what can I expect. I will for sure highlight this low. If I want to go long, I'm not sure what else could I demand from the market to be swept. I might highlight this low as well, but to me, I'm not sure if this is really that much significant. It's just a small retracement inside this whole price move, so I'm not sure if I can consider it as a really big liquidity pool. But for sure, it's a swing low, so it should act in that way for sure. On the 5-minute, I think that's the only thing that I can see right now. That only on the higher time frames there are some interesting and important points. The 5-minute, there is nothing that stands out to me. So I will probably need to wait for 9:30 and see what the market does. So for now, I will just review the market. I will note anything that's important or notable. But for now, I will be just waiting for 9:30. Okay, so I'm now looking on ES. As I said, I was waiting for this sell side to be swept, and we got that. And I was waiting for a possible long once this is swept after 9:30 plus SMT. I can say we do have SMT here. This is the low that NASDAQ swept, and ES is almost making a new higher high. So we do have this confluence right now. But as I said, at 9:30 it's going to be very volatile, and I would probably not have a good setup for the trade. Let's see if we get also this sell side liquidity swept, but I'm not favoring this one that much. I was more focusing on this one. But as I would not have the setup somewhere around here, it's going to be very difficult for me to position myself, let's say, somewhere around here. It's not really that good in my opinion. So let me also highlight where is the opening range gap. Something that I need to note. We have a very huge opening range gap, and I like it. Like the fact that it opened down, that we have quite a nice move that we can expect the market go back to. I really like the fact that also the midpoint of the, I think this is the 15-minute fair value gap, sorry, it's the 1 hour, that the midpoint is also the 50% of the opening range gap. That's really good. I like it. So also the 25% is right here. I'm looking at the 30-second chart. I have no opportunity to position myself. So unfortunately, this might run without me. ES is making a higher high. I would love to put an entry right now, but I don't want to. This is not my model, so I can't, unfortunately. If I would see the NASDAQ go down again, that would be really good. But as I said, this was what I was trying to look for, and I just might not get the opportunity to take a trade. So even within this price move up, within this price leg, I didn't get any fair value gap to enter from. So for now, I unfortunately need to just wait. And I might not have a setup today as well. That's a possibility. And maybe I will have a 1 minute fair value gap here, but if I would have a 1 minute fair value gap here, I'm not sure if I would want to use it. I did use it once, but I think the fair value gap was quite closer to the swing high or swing low. So I'm not sure if I want to try it. And I don't think the NASDAQ is going back down here. I don't know. I have still yet to decide. I'm looking at it. It didn't trade yet, it traded now. So I would be tapped in, but for some reason I'm really scared for this trade. But it seems it would be a good trade. But I just don't like it how it's almost at the midpoint of this price range. That's why I didn't want to try it. And I have two different opportunities to enter it. I can still enter now, like, and make a long, but I don't know. So my first profit taking would be at this high, which is quite nice. I mean, that's really nice, reasonable target to exit some partials or maybe even the entire position. I'm still thinking about it, but I don't know. I also like that it went up from the 1 hour fair value gap and traded back to the midpoint. And still I can favor that it will reprice the 25% of the opening range. So I'm thinking, should I enter? I think this will run without me and I will probably not have another opportunity. And if it does go back down again, I don't think it's going to be good. I think this should be enough for the market to just reprice and then go higher. And it's going to be probably a good trade. I did get what I wanted. So I had SMT, I had sell side liquidity swept, I had a fair value gap, but I just didn't have it on the 30 seconds. I probably will have an opportunity to enter again. I don't know. I could still enter now. I think it should be still fine. Yeah, I can still enter now. I can still do this, but I just don't like it. I can still click. It's within. I don't want. I just don't like how it's still coming back down. I don't know what I can expect from the market. But it's still closed quite nicely at the midpoint of that 1 hour fair value gap. Almost touching again the opening range gap. But the only reason why I don't like it is that it's almost in the midpoint of this price leg. So my stop loss would probably be very close. It would be somewhere here. So it can easily retrace here. And also take out this high, which I don't like. Sometimes I do enter trades when it does that. It's not the buy side liquidity that I'm targeting. Also, that's something to note. I just don't find it this trade to be that high quality. Even though ES is still showing that it's going higher. Maybe slowing down now. How much would this result in? 15 handles. So yeah, I would probably get stopped out here if I would try to enter. Oh, not really. The stop loss would be here. So below the sell side liquidity. So it just went again to the opening range. Now it's going higher again. If I would have another sweep of the sell side with SMT, that would be really good. But I'm not sure if I can get that. Also, today's range is really small. I mean, the candles look like it's a big range, but really it's not. This is really small price action compared to what was happening in London until New York Open. If we see the price action here, 100 handles, just really straight move, we don't see that much on New York yet. And I would not like this price action, that it's trading inside this fair value gap for so long, because my trades most of the time are just a few minutes, and it goes straight into my TP. And you can see I would get stopped out here. So I'm really glad I didn't take it. That I was really trying to patiently wait for a high quality setup. So I'm really, really happy for that. So as I said, we might get another sweep of this low. And that will be really good if we get another SMT with the sell side liquidity sweep and possibly have another opportunity to go long. But hopefully we can see the market sweeping that low. But let's see if maybe we will see a bearish day. That's very, very much possible. Coming back to at least the 50% of the daily BC. Because we have the SMT on the highs, we can maybe see the NASDAQ be really weak and just go down. Okay, so we got this low swept as well, whereas ES didn't yet sweep any, like a swing low from this price range. So we have a really nice SMT here. Okay, so ES already swept some of these lows. It swept some of these ones that I'm highlighting here. I will just show it. So these were swept, but not yet the low from 750. Whereas NASDAQ has different price action. And if we can just leave it here in terms of the downwards movement and go up, that would be nice. But I'm not seeing the NASDAQ really wanting to go higher. And based on my model, I had no opportunity to get in either position, even up or down. So for now, I'm just reviewing what's happening. There's a small fair value gap here. Still making new lows. There's a 15-minute fair value gap here. I'm not expecting the NASDAQ to go down here. For me, this is pretty much enough. But it can easily go down here. ES is still not yet following with the lower lows. I would love to see a BC fair value gap on the 30-second chart, but I'm not getting it. We're probably going to see the market draw down even more. On ES, I think there is a good opportunity to go short from here. This gap, I think, is not that big, just two handles. So I think to follow NASDAQ, at least to this fair value gap or maybe even lower, I think that's a good opportunity. 5 handles, I think that's nice. But let's see what we can see in NASDAQ. Now, as we are so close to the 50-minute fair value gap, I'm not sure if I should demand the market to go here, actually. Unfortunately, no possibility for me to enter this trade. Okay, so we have SMT with ES on these lows. ES just made the lower low. And we have now made a small BC at 429.5. I actually like this really a lot. 10 seconds. Let's see if we get the opportunity to reprice in this fair value gap. There's also a 1 minute fair value gap here. It's probably going to be formed. But it's running quite high already without me. Yeah, already 20 handles. I think that's a lot. Ooh, that's a lot. So I was expecting this to happen, that the NASDAQ will sweep a liquidity pool, have a SMT with ES. I identified those that I wanted to look for longs, but I hoped that we would see the market reprice, but we will probably not see that today. I really don't like how the market just goes one-sided down, one-sided up. I'm still leaving the position there, but I will probably close it. I'll delete this. I will probably let it 1 more minute But let me see how I will manage. ES doesn't even have that much of a price move compared to NQ. So how many candles this is? 1, 2, 3, 4. I will allow one more candle. But I don't think that the market will drop down here and then retrace even higher. I think it just ran without me. Yeah, unfortunately it ran without me. I will see if I will have any other opportunity. But let's see. The market can even drop again from this point. Because it went back really close to the opening range gap. Again, to the 1 hour fair value gap here. ES didn't have that much of a retracement. It's still like around the CB here, around the midpoint. But yeah, I was really trying to catch this move, but I didn't get it. Really, even on the, you can see even the 1 minute, just 2 candles immediately just ran 30 handles in 2 minutes. I really wanted to catch this, but I didn't have the opportunity. I'm not sure if you would be able to catch this on ES. I'm going to check it. So on ES, there was also a fair value gap, but it was touched at the high of the fair value gap, so you could probably not be even filled in. It could fill you, but could also not fill you. There was a small fair value gap here, which was repriced, but that's too high for me. I will be just chasing this. And I just need to let it go without me. But let's see, maybe I will find an opportunity to go short here. Yeah, I really like, however, the reprice back into this daily BC. And then have a reaction going up. That's really something that I wanted to look for. But unfortunately, I was not able to take any trade for it. You can see how the market is really strong, bullish right now. It already delivered around 50 handles. So unfortunately, cans do nothing here. So we are already sweeping these highs, coming back almost to the 25% of the range. ES already swept these highs. So ES is stronger here. But I for sure believe the NQ will follow. And maybe going here inside this. I think this is 1 hour. I think all of the gaps that are here are 1 hour. I see here one fair value gap, which is also at the midpoint of the 1 hour fair value gap and also the opening range gap. This could be maybe a good opportunity to maybe pyramid some entry for the high over here. But that's something for sure that I would not be doing. But I'm just looking at this if there is an opportunity. But as we already swept these highs, I'm not sure if I should be even considering any type of retracement and continuation higher, because it can really just go down from here. So this line also represents the daily fair value gap high. So we have SMT on the highs here. I don't think I should consider going short. I don't think it's a good idea before this high is going to be swept. And we have still news to come at 10, so we might even see some potential trade after this time. Also to note, there is a 1 hour fair value gap around this price range, which I don't have noted, but basically the buy side liquidity is noting the 1 hour fair value gap. I just don't want to have so many zones marked up here. But that would be really good if we can see the market taking out the buy side, trading inside the 1 hour fair value gap, and maybe look potentially for a short if we have a SMT2. That could be a nice trade opportunity, because we can see here how the market really behaved, how it is respecting those bearish signatures. The buy side liquidity swept here inside the 50-minute fair value gap, went down. Again, we have a buy side liquidity here. There is a 1 hour fair value gap here, also on the 50-minute, and it could go lower. But I would really like the buy side liquidity taken out. But we might see it at 10. But hopefully we would not see a really like a dip down at that time, because it can do either way. But I like how it's stagnant right now around this level. So let's see what we can expect. I am favoring still this buy side to be delivered in any minute. And if we can get that and position ourselves in a short, I think that would be a good trade opportunity. I don't have any strong bias for today. So let's see what we can find. I already anticipated this move to the upside, so maybe I will not be able to even predict any other move. I'm not sure. So 5 seconds. I'm waiting for this buy side to be swept. I think we should see it in the few minutes taken out. I can see we have traded inside this 5-minute fair value gap as well. We might be respecting it and then go higher for these equal highs. It could be a nice trade opportunity, but I'm not taking it. I just don't like how the market is really stagnant right now. Just slowly building down, even though I think we should come back here and then retrace lower. I think we went back down to 5-minute fair value gap again. So I have still opportunity to enter long here, but it's not the trade idea I want to participate in. I was thinking that the market can even come into this 1-minute fair value gap and the midpoint of the 1-hour fair value gap. But we could see that the market didn't even reach down there, and it kind of respected the 5-minute fair value gap, which was formed right here. So yeah, I'm not sure if I get the opportunity to go short. We could potentially see the market just going higher the entire day. This was the sweep of the liquidity, the Judas swing, and now going the opposite direction. It could be a really nice zone to look for shorts based on the 50% of the opening range. On the 1-hour chart, also around the 50%, there is the breaker, bearish breaker. So that would be also another nice potential area, and also the 50% of the 1-hour fair value gap. So we are there right now, but I'm not sure if the market will start showing bearishness from here or if it will just continue. If it doesn't show immediate reaction that it wants to now reach down, I think we might not have any other opportunity. I was able to anticipate the sell side and also the buy side here, but unfortunately I didn't get any model to enter. I think this would be very risky to do. And also the reward would not be that much. Even though it went much higher, sure. But that's not something that I would, let's say, favor. Still not showing that it wants to go immediately the opposite direction. So it really can just go higher and higher and higher. There is another 15-minute fair value gap up here, also on the 5-minute, and it's probably going to reach there. I don't think I will have any other opportunity to enter a high quality trade. Most of the time I'm already in a trade, and so far I don't see anything yet that will give me an opportunity. So potentially today will be my first day that I didn't put any trade at all, which could still be a good performance. If I would still try to favor some shorts, I'm not sure. On ES, it looks quite fine as well. It also went inside a 15-minute fair value gap and also 1 hour fair value gap, and it kind of respected and go down from there. Seeing a small retracement now. I'm not sure if I will have a down close candle on the 30-second chart that will remain open. Uh, 514. So here is a fair value gap that I might try to take if I get the opportunity. But let's see. But I will probably not even strike for a higher reward. I think until this fair value gap, I think I will close everything. Because this can easily just continue. I'm not really sure. Wait, I did it wrong. I'm not really sure that we will see a bearish movement right now. It's very tough to say. This is probably going for my stop. It's probably just continuing higher and higher. We have SMT with ES here on these highs. ES has just made a new high. But I think I shouldn't, based on the time that I'm already done, I think I shouldn't have tried to look for an entry here, even though I had an opportunity or a model. Basically, I'm trying to enter a trade when the reprice of a fair value gap was done. We went back into the 50% of the opening range. So on the 1 hour, we could be respecting this 1 hour fair value gap and also this breaker. That's also something that I was noting, that's a potential area where the market can start going lower. If we are now in bearish conditions, which on the higher time frame it kind of tells me that we are, but I think once this huge displacement to the upside was done, I think I shouldn't have tried to look for shorts. I think the only opportunity that I should have been looking for was the movement to the upside, instead of looking for shorts once the movement to the upside was done. And seeing how it's still just moving inside my drawdown and not showing immediately that it wants to go down, it kind of tells me it's probably not going to be a good trade. Because as it is also trading so much in the upper portion and still in the breaker, it probably tells me that it wants to go up here to this fair value gap too. So we will see. Probably I'm gonna get stopped out, and that's also going to be it for today. I'm not going to even review the markets. I tried something, it didn't work out, so I will need to wait for the next day. Yeah, and how it closed, it's going there. I should, never mind. Okay. So the trade didn't turn out that good, but I think I identified why. I probably should have demanded more, and probably seeing that we are not in a conditions for a good opportunity, as we already dropped down here around 50 handles, and then we went up 100 handles. It's Monday. I probably shouldn't have been trying to strike for another trade during this time. So yeah, at least I know what I did wrong, but I'm not that satisfied that I try to enter, even though I said that it's not the time or that much of a good position to position myself in a short after such a price run. But I'm going to leave it there just with one trade, and let's see what we can expect for tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, anything on your mind, and I will see you in the next trading session.